Welcome to SMR Bitesize. Tuesday's action point is coming right up. But before that, if you like what we're doing, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and of course, subscribe to the channel. It's easy to sneer at GB News. They're remarkably easy targets, low-hanging fruit. But despite its relatively low viewing figures, there's possibly more of you watching this now than are currently tuned in to GB News. Should we be taking Britain's news channel more seriously? Well, Jake certainly thinks so, and he started a petition to get its broadcasting license revoked. As you can see, it's getting quite a lot of interest. So today we're asking, are Ofcom refusing to regulate this nonsense news channel? Does it spread lies, misinformation, and conspiracy? Is it damaging the UK's media even more? And, well, we can't quite agree with that last bit. As we know all too well in the UK, perfectly intelligent people can be taken in. So just what does Britain's self-professed news channel offer its viewers? Well, there's certainly a fair measure of obsessive vilification of certain celebrities.
Duke and Duchess of Delusion went for the jugular in the disgraceful first 3 episodes of their Netflix reality show.
You can expect more than an ample measure of climate crisis denialism.
New fear-mongering campaign is on our shores. This time it's a new update from the IPCC and the UN with a global warming climate change report.
Enough ridiculous conspiracy theories to keep the manufacturers of tin foil in business till rapture.
It will be your bank account soon, I can promise you that. With no reason given, that's it. There are extremely dark forces at play in this mirage of a democracy that we thought we lived in.
And then, frankly, there's just...
reality is that Brexit has been an instant success.
Well, the evidence certainly speaks for itself on that one. So much for the content then, but then there's the illustrious lineup of presenters. An all-Tory husband and wife team, no, I'm not joking, a disgraced former actor, musician and Reclaim Party leader. Oh look, another currently serving Tory MP. Yeah, him again, sorry about that. And in one of the saddest falls from grace, yeah, the Coast guy. Well, at least he's got that bit right. We don't have time today to go into the full rap sheet of problems this channel presents, but spend a few hours watching it one day. You'll soon get the idea. But what about the funding behind it? How patriotic is Britain's news channel? Well, Sam Bright at Byline Times ran an article in which he discovered the 60 million quid that got the channel off the ground didn't come from the UK, but the US and Dubai. In fact, the Legatum Institute had an influential role in promoting Brexit, and the Vote Leave campaign's CEO, Matthew Elliott, was a fellow at the Institute for a year. Oh, and its CEO's Australian. So it's as British as bangers and mash then. But in the spirit of keeping things bang up to date on Bite Size, let's take one story they've covered in just the past couple of days. This one, in which they claim white audiences are banned from a black-only performance. Aside from this being yet another story designed to stoke the culture wars and throw a little red meat to their base, perhaps the biggest problem with this story is that it's not true. And as AC Grayling has pointed out many times, we have a much simpler way of saying that in Britain. We call it a lie. Now, I do apologise for featuring him again so soon. We'll take a break, I promise. But here's Nigel Farage with more.
This is pretty extraordinary, is it not? The Theatre Royal, Stratford East in East London, is putting on a play on the 5th of July. The play is called Tambo and Bones. And the organisers that are hosting it, it's a one-off, want it to be a blackout event. That's right. A safe, private space for all black identifying audiences. I find the whole thing extraordinary. So we're saying to white people, please don't come along. This play's designed for black people only. Now, they won't ban white people from going along.
Well, in the wake of that story breaking, a huge number of social media users were quick to point out that it wasn't entirely accurate. And this one directed us to a very interesting article in the Evening Standard. In it, their culture editor Nancy Durant writes, the theatre will host a single performance at which they've expressed the hope that the audience can be entirely black to allow them to enjoy it free from the white gaze, a practice that started in the US and has been described as healing for the audiences of colour who've attended. Now, whatever your personal feelings on that practice are, only one thing matters here, and that's the facts. And the theatre have made it very clear that in all performances, no one is excluded from attending. But you'd have to dig far deeper than the way this story was presented on GB News to know that. Some did. but many more didn't. And as this Twitter user points out so beautifully here, sowing division within our fragile society is exactly what GB News hope to achieve on a daily basis. As for Ofcom, seems they couldn't care less. And it would appear that their lack of interest in regulating GB News properly boils down to the fact that they consider it a current affairs channel rather than a news one. It's literally called GB News. But by deciding it isn't one, Ofcom have wriggled out of upholding their own broadcasting code. But what do you think about all this? Let us know in the comments below. There were some real corkers yesterday. And as for that petition, well, if you feel inclined to sign it, you'll find it at change.org. There's a link in the description. If you enjoyed this video, visit 16millionrising.co.uk, where you can listen to this week's full radio show for free, support us with a donation, buy us a coffee, or subscribe as an early riser. Back tomorrow.